Back with another film room. All right, we're going to go over the Denver game. This one's going to be kind of the opposite of the Detroit game. Even though we lost the Detroit game, I liked what we were doing to break the press, and I thought it created much more opportunities and options for us on offense. And the opposite is true for this one. Even though we won, I didn't really like the way we were breaking the double team. And again, we keep coming back to the same issue, and that is people doubling Luka. What are we going to do when people double Luka? That so far, and probably going forward, considering Luka's going to be, the guy no matter where he goes, just about, unless he goes and plays with Giannis or something like that, right? But specifically offensively, I mean, Luka's the best all around offensive player in the league. I would think, or at least can be argued, right? And so, our issues, our plan going forward is how do we break the double team? That's what it's going to be. And again, he just in this game he ran a lot of like double pick and roll at the top. I didn't see him adjust again. Again, we got stuck on the sides of the half court, either side, getting to the corner, making that pass much harder, taking an extra step or two to break it and get to the middle or get to the bucket or get our open three. So, again, Tim Hardaway's been playing a lot better lately, so that has alleviated a lot of the mistakes or pressure that we're getting on Luka. But specifically in the fourth quarter, we're going to look at the Mavs here. And what was frustrating about this game is, our offense was not pretty, in my opinion. It still struggled a lot at times. I felt Luka, was struggling, and we kind of, again, I mentioned this about the Phoenix Suns playoff series and just the playoffs overall, right? Last year, if we were going to win, it's because Luka was going to have to will us to a win instead of having a game plan ready, right? And that's just you're not going to be very consistent or go very far. It's not very sustainable if one player is just having to will you to a win all the time, right? Eventually, you're just going to win. You're going to lose out in a series. You're going to come up against a better team who plays like a team and can take that one player away or limit him or slow him down a little bit. And that's largely what happened in this game, and we came away with a win. But again, we came up with some crucial offensive rebounds late. We hit some crucial shots. Again, we got away with a win, right? It doesn't feel like we won the game. It feels like we got away with a win. So we'll pick it up at the end of the third here. And in my opinion, we struggled in the fourth when we really needed a bucket. Luka really struggled. Luka struggled all game, really. He hit his threes, but he didn't do very good from inside the arc. And again, Tim Hardaway, he's been looking good, which is nice, but relying on Tim Hardaway to get you 25, 30 points a game, again, I don't think is very sustainable. And what I do like about Hardaway, and I mentioned this in the last video we did, we need Hardaway shooting straight up, straight down. No more of this leaning and fading. Shooting a difficult shot. When Tim Hardaway gets set, or at least jumps straight up, straight down for his shot, he's a great shooter. So that's what I think has largely been the difference so far. And again, he's been working on a shot, I hear, in the off time. So he's putting in the work, so that's good. Let's just go ahead and play it, and we'll break down the game. And this is such a great juxtaposition to what we're doing, right? Aaron Gordon feasted this game, right? And not only did he feast, he got easy looks, right? And the reason why I bring that up, it goes back to the way Carlisle used Dirk versus the way Kidd is using Luka. A lot of times when Dirk would get the ball, and they did this with Jokic last night, Dirk would get the ball on that pin post, free throw line extended kind of area, and the offense would flow through that. We would get looks from that. Guys knew what to do. There was a game plan, a second wrinkle, a second, third option off of that we were looking for, whether it be a Terry 3, dump down to Chandler down low. And that is what the Nuggets did. The Nuggets got so many easy looks and so many easy opportunities and mismatches based off of Jokic. And what they were doing is they were running Jokic to the free throw line, to that pin post, free throw line elbow area, and they were dumping it down to Gordon all night. And he had like Tim Hardaway on him, or he'd have a smaller guard on him or something like that. And he was getting easy buckets. And you have to think about that, right? Aaron Gordon is not he's a good offensive player, but he was like 13 of 15 or 13 of 16 or something like that, something ridiculous, right? And it really makes you think, right? Like, if the Nuggets are able to turn Gordon into a bucket getter from in the post, right, and get mismatches, why can't we do that with Luka? And that's kind of one of my heavy criticisms of Kid is he is just simply he's doing this whole meme right here. This is largely what he's doing right here, right? He's just simply saying, "Hey, here, Luka, take the ball, score, please." That's kind of what he's doing. This is the offense that Kid runs right here, and you could tell the difference between what the Nuggets were doing with Jokic and running an offense through him and off of him, and players knowing what they're doing or what they're looking for. And Kid doesn't ever seem to do this. He just runs the pick and roll all day with Luka. He might get him the ball in the extended block sometimes, but again, calling a pick and roll and calling an ISO is not going to cut it at the end of the day. That's not going to manufacture offense, right? And everyone just stands around and watches Luka. No one's cutting. No one's doing any kind of motion off the ball or trying to get in a certain spot for a certain look. This is literally what it is, this picture, this meme. I hate to kind of go to a meme to explain basketball, but it is very true. So I just want to keep that in mind for anyone who watched the game and they want to go back and rewatch this. Watch how the Nuggets used Jokic. Watch how the offense went through him, and Gordon got so many easy looks. And they ran the pick and roll much better than we did. Now, then again, having Jokic rolling versus Luka coming off a pick is two different things, right? Kind of when Luka comes off a pick, he is the only option. Whereas when someone like Highland or Murray would come off that pick from Jokic, you have two guys who can score going to the hole, right? So that's a little different. But again, the offense for the Nuggets is just so much more evolved and polished and has so many more options than what the Mavericks do. And the Mavericks all the Mavericks are, right, is pick and roll or ISO with Luka and then hope other guys hit their threes, right? And I know it's kind of easy to say, well, we're hitting threes, like that's good, but you're going to have games where you don't hit threes. And we see the Mavericks struggle very much so when they don't hit threes. And, live by the three, die by the three. And so can you get something in between? Can you manufacture some layups? Can you get some 15-foot jump shots? Can you get a mismatch in the post here and there? Can you do different things? And the Mavericks so far have not been able, or have not shown me that they really have anything else, right? And, as the season progresses, if Hardaway keeps shooting as he does, a defense can adapt to only focusing on Luka and Tim, right? So, that's not going to be enough at the end of the day.
Certainly count on. You got your normal rotation in.
And they didn't do it so much right here, but again, they were largely right off the bat from the first quarter during my live stream. I could see it. They were hedging and even doubling Luka, and no one really got to the middle of the floor like we get it against Detroit, which I liked, and also the thing is, it takes a lot of pressure off your secondary players, and the Mavs have a lot of secondary role players, right? You have to make things as easy as possible for them and get them in spots where they're not pressured, they're not going to make a mistake, and the decision is easy, right? And they can put the ball in the hole and play their strengths. So this is what we were doing a lot, this double pick and roll. So you see Jokic is hanging around. That Luka made he got away with a lot of passes like this last night. A lot of behind the back stuff, jumping up, not exactly knowing where he was going with it. Now Luka can do that from time to time, but again, you'd rather keep it as vanilla as possible. Look at Jokic. He's not even worried about finding out where his man is, right? I mean, they did this all night hanging around Luka. And this is actually kind of smart because Luka is not the best three-point shooter, right? He's good on this little left side wing here, right? His little step back three. He's very good. That's his spot in terms of threes. But other than that, I mean, he shot good from the three last night. But other than that, you know, Luka is not necessarily a three-point shooter that you have to respect 100%, right? And so I think this is the right way to do it. I would hedge, and I'd be playing Luka off the dribble to the hole. The mid-range game and bumping to the hole is really what Luka excels at. Again, that's tough defense. I mean, that's not exactly the best offense.
In crucial times, too. Last week, we're trying to get some.
Again, that's just a tough for Green and Bullock to run a little two-man game. That's not preferred.
He's got to rest sometimes. Jokic tonight has played 26 minutes, the most of anyone. And only second to Doncic, who has played 28 minutes. Bullock has never looked to you.
Again, the middle of the floor is wide open. This was open the whole game during the fourth quarter, and whenever they double Luka. I'm still not sure why we don't attack this every time. Something good almost always comes from it.
He's got to rest sometimes. Jokic tonight has played 26 minutes, the most of anyone. And only second to Doncic, who has played 28 minutes.
So Bullock should have just popped right here.
Be aggressive offensively. He's gun shy out here from the three-point line. Shot clock at three. Doncic three. No.
I mean, Luka was okay from the three that night, but I mean, again, a step back three, you can get any time. Same thing, Bullock's coming to pick. Again, I would like to see us bring the big man up. Again, I hate when they bring another guard, another speedy guard who can stay in front of Luka out to the perimeter here. That is not playing to any of our strengths. Two quick guys on Luka 30, 35 feet away from the hole is not a good scenario for us. Not a preferred scenario. So again, the double screen. Now we have the mismatch, so they're not doubling right now. And again, they're going to do, I guess you kind of call it like a peekaboo double team, right? Sometimes they're going to hard double team you, and other times they're not. So in my opinion, what Denver was doing, like early on, they showed the hedge, and all night they were kind of shadowing and hedging Luka. And then in the fourth, you're going to see they go a lot harder at it, right? Because they're trying to switch it up. They're trying to make you panic. They're trying to get you in a spot, right? It's like kind of playing a man-to-man or zone on football, and then blitzing, like you got to mix it up a little bit.
You're checking highlights and
you see everyone's paying attention to Luka.
things like that. She is in, watching Doncic, who has a triple-double. Stats and things like that.
This is also something too is I've mentioned this before, like how our guys I know that they're trying to space and we on the 3-point line, but it is okay every once in a while for a guy, in my opinion, that we can bring down and shoot an 18-footer, shoot a 15-footer, right? These NBA guys should be able to hit that. And I wish we would do that a little more. And again, I've mentioned this also, is that the Mavericks, again, I know swinging the ball is good and makes the defense work, but it also doesn't make them think. And technically, if you swing it around enough, a defense will recover, right? And so this is what I mean. Like, no one really back cuts a whole lot. No one really plays off the ball very good on the Mavericks. You know, like I would like to see Green get in here a little bit. Flash here, right? The Mavs are just horrible attacking the open spot in the middle of the floor. Now I know we don't have like a big man, right? But it's more about getting here and making the defense collapse on you and opening up things for other people. You know, like Luka could have backdoor here, right? 6 seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time. And it's just the Mavericks are so easy to read on offense, in my opinion.
A little too hard there by Bones Highland. The effort here. He's gotten the message.
He has indeed. Triple-double for Doncic, 17, 10, and 10.
So Maxey brings the big man. I like that. And we get the mismatch. I mean, Luka should attack. There you go. That's fine. Okay, again, I don't like us getting this far out. I would like to see us hit Green rolling to the basket here. That was a foul. I remember watching that. He had his hand on Luka's hip the whole time and gets his arm as he goes up. But again, hang out here. I would just like to see us pass a little more to break down the defense. And Luka, I mean, I'm not going to say Luka got bailed out here, but Luka's playing to the ref trying to get the foul. That's not always going to be there. Pulling up from 15 feet away and trying to get the foul, you know, if Luka thinks he's going to get it, that's, you know, Luka has a green light to do whatever he wants, but. And also the thing about hitting Green on that roll, and this is where I mean the other guys don't do a lot of movement. If we can get Green the ball here and Reggie's back cutting, you know, like, do you understand where, like, there are many ways we could go about breaking down the defense, and we just seem to do Luka every time, right? And again, that's not sustainable, and you're going to wear Luka out.
Only one starter on the floor.
Double pick and roll. Nobody really uses it. Again, you know, this is just the NBA in general. I don't know what it is with setting picks. No one, it's like almost a formality at this point. Like no one really actually uses them or does it right, it seems like. But again, should have let Hardaway actually get here.
On the floor here for the Nuggets. And that's Murray, who Coach Malone talking to Stephanie. They're going to need a big dose of Murray here in the fourth.
Wood had a good night too. Yeah, we did go a lot with the Dinwiddie Wood option whenever Luka was not in. Wood did good though. I mean, this is also I've been saying about Wood. Wood is not a put the ball on the floor at the 3-point line and try to get to the basket kind of guy. He needs to have like a 3 dribble max roll. And right here is a good spot for him to get it. If it's not a 3, he probably needs to pass it or needs to be straight to the hole. Nothing in between. But getting it right here, this is a good spot for Wood.
Wood a screen and switch on defense. Green goes on Dinwiddie. Shot clock is down to 7. Wood and Brown. Reach in by Murray.
This is good. And this is kind of an example of what I've been saying about we need to get the ball to the middle of the floor more. It just opens things up if guys are going to move and back cut and whatnot. That's what I mean by manufacturing offense, getting easy looks, mismatches, etc.
Murray's got 9 for the game, and he's been averaging 18. He's been on 10, 31 the other night. He's been pushed back.
Look at this. Us 2
steals. And that is a question about Wood. How does he affect the winning overall of the Mavs?
Well, there's no question he has talent. And I think he could be a perfect complement to Luka coming off the bench.
I like that. I like to see Finney get a little aggressive like that. I mean, he almost looked like he was trying to dunk that, which, again, I'd rather us mess up being aggressive going to the hole than being hesitant on the wing and traveling or getting a 24-second violation.
This is the guy that has so much control. He could,
Here comes Dinwiddie. They're looking for a backup to him as a ball handler. They had 3 ball handlers last year, but now just 2.
And if y'all watched that when I live streamed this game, I was dying for Dinwiddie. Anytime Highland was on Dinwiddie, I wanted Dinwiddie to take him to the hole and post him up. And they did it several times. And anytime Dinwiddie has a smaller guard on him, if he can ever get that mismatch, I think that's a bucket all day. Dinwiddie getting in the post or going to the hole on someone like Bones Highland should be no problem for Dinwiddie, in my opinion. And we did that during this game, and it worked out. So it worked out more times than it didn't, in my opinion.
In a variety of ways. I mean, these have been deep threes as well, Kevin.
Denver within 2. Wood, 3, arching up and off.
7 seconds there. I would have liked to seen us get the ball back to Dinwiddie on Bones Highland in the post.
Picked up by Green. It's off to Dinwiddie for 3, and feeds, and Wood is there.
It's good heads-up play in the chaos.
He brings energy and effort.
They try to do this a lot, which I like. And there's a few times I felt like that one right there, like there was a lot of contact that maybe should have been called or not. But again, getting the ball all the way to the middle of the floor here and getting Dinwiddie a little jump hook, a little baby hook on someone like Bones Highland, you'll take that. That's not a bad shot.
He's out there with Doncic and Kleba and Hardaway back out there. Finney Smith.
Here comes the help.
He held Luka. I remember this play. He held Luka's off arm. Like Luka went to go pass, and like he grabbed Luka's off arm so he couldn't like gather himself. It looked like Luka fell back on his own, but I mean, he did grab Luka's off arm and kind of prevented him from kind of gaining his balance. So it was a good call. See, watch. You see what I mean? He kind of grabs his arm. He doesn't let it up. See here, getting to the middle of the floor. This is just, you see what I mean? Like this is where this is what Luka does for you, right? Luka gets so much attention, and people are paying so much attention to him and sort of hedging so much to him, especially as much as he plays outside on the wing on those pick and rolls, and even when he gets his ISO, it's even like kind of the extended block area. This is almost always wide open, and this is what we need to be attacking right here. And I think we settle for the 3 too much. We swing the ball too much. We drive and kick too much in terms of the other players, and we need to be manufacturing easy looks right here. And so this is almost perfect. This guy's playing safety right now on these two guys, right? He's trying to hedge Maxey for just a second. So getting the ball, Finney had a good night shooting too. Getting the ball over to Finney, he's got to pick him up, and this guy has Jokic beat already. Maybe a travel too. One thing they were doing differently, the Mavs this game, is the double pick. Luka was just coming off that corner. He wasn't hesitating, which I've mentioned before that a lot of times if you're going to set a pick and roll, you have to at least come around the corner and give the threat that you're going to use it, right? A lot of times we get faded out and we go too wide on these pick and rolls, and you're not really making the defense pay or even trying to use the pick and roll, and you're not really even getting a mismatch, so it's kind of pointless sometimes. But this game, a lot of the times, Luka was coming off of that pick and roll, and he was using it. He was being aggressive, and that was a much better difference that we made. Yeah, like he got away with one right there. See, like that 3, he made it great, but that offense that should have been a turnover, to be honest. If you're watching this in the film room, that Luka gets away with a big one right here. We are really lucky to have gotten this ball back. And this is also one thing Luka has a little bit of a bad habit of, is he jumps up a lot before he maybe he knows where he wants to go, but he does hang a little bit sometimes. And so I've seen defense, especially during this game, he made a few passes that got picked off, like trying to go across the court, and he tried to hang and get it to somebody. And you're not going to get away with that very much more. You know, I think people are starting to pick up on that from Luka. And whenever he goes up, everyone immediately is falling back to their man, understanding that Luka's about to pass it.
Just going forward, you wonder if Luka has enough supporting cast to carry them.
Kind of feel like we got away with one here too. They call Highland right here for a foul on Maxey as Maxey starts to roll. But theoretically, Highland has decent position here. Again, he does shoulder bump him, so if you want to call the foul, that's fine. But even then, right? Even then, the ball still gets tipped right here, right? Luka still gets picked right here. So, you know, I understand this is the foul here that they called, but technically that's a turnover. You know, if you're a coach looking at this, this is a turnover. And again, they get Luka. I know he's not like quite out, but still he's out to the side. And again, like if you're on either wing, trying to throw it back in or across the court for a skip pass is just much harder. And that's why I wish we could get him coming off the pick in the middle or setting the pick and roll at the bottom of the logo in the middle. And so coming around here and having to kind of throw back across to the lane, it's easier for these two guys to read that and cut off that space. Whereas if he was in the middle of the floor and let's say those two guys are in front of him, he can still go left or right or down the middle in terms of looking them away or getting them leaning one way or the other. When you start going to one side or the other, he can either keep going right here or he's going to throw back across, right? And so you go from having, theoretically, right, 3 avenues to only 2, really. When we're talking about guys in the NBA who are as long and as lengthy and athletic as they are on average, that's just a much harder pass. And Jokic gets a steal here. This is a turnover, theoretically. And again, what maybe Luka could have done here is backed it out one dribble and let either look off to Finney-Smith, or if Highland's going to stay on Maxey, right? Either the ball goes to Finney-Smith if he's going to stay on Maxey, or since, again, I've talked about this, they're going to start picking up this guy in the middle here. Let Maxey seal. This is a big mismatch, right? Let Maxey seal Bones Highland. Just one more dribble is all we really needed. Let him actually get a post up on him and then dump it down low.
Chicken wing.
You see what I'm saying? This is what they're going to start doing now is if someone does come to the middle. Look at Highlands. He's got his hands up. If someone comes to the middle, they're going to start taking away this roller, right? So this is the proper pass here. And again, for a split second, Maxey is open there. And this is why I would like to get us get a little more space, right? Because the little more space out here, it gives Maxey a little more room. And Bones Highland is truly in no man's land. He's got to pick one. Whereas coming off the pick right here, it's still, they can recover this short pick and roll right here. I'm calling it short at the 3-point line. They can recover that pick and roll a lot faster. But this is the right pass in my opinion. And again, maybe could have been a quick pass here to Maxey. Maxey is wide open. I don't like that shot.
Right here.
I mean, that's what we want right here is Maxey right here. I'm not sure. Maybe Finney just felt like he couldn't get him the ball or something. But especially when he pump fakes Bones Highland here, I mean, the ball should be on the way. I'm not sure why he didn't make that pass. You know, Finney is not necessarily the most polished offensive guy, right? So maybe he just didn't feel comfortable trying to make that pass. But 9 seconds here on the shot clock. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't make that pass. Seven seconds to go, and Maxey gets this. He's got Bones Highland running at him. Maybe could have run another pick and roll, another revolution. It would have had to have been quick, but, you know, this was kind of a forced 3 in my opinion. Highland doesn't really contest it, but still, I mean, having a guy run at you, I mean, he's not wide open, right? The double pick and roll again. Again, I like this. We get in trouble when we let that double team come and we get stuck on the corner and Luka's got nowhere to go. So let's just go. Let's attack it. I like that wrinkle a little better than a lot of times Luka kind of fades off a little too much and gives the defense space to recover and to get back in front of him. So I like coming off. He did this a lot tonight. Just coming off that double pick and roll and just going. I don't know how. I remember this. I don't know how the hell he got that off. Aaron Gordon just. I mean, I don't know. That's just a crazy pass. I mean, maybe he got a little lucky there, but. See, good. More of this. More people. One of the things also about us being such a three-point shooting team is it means that there is spacing there. There is spacing for us to play off of and back cut, etc. And I feel like there are so many opportunities like this, especially in the Detroit game. Like there was that one miscue from Maxey to Tim Hardaway when he was cutting back door, but it was there. I feel like there are so many opportunities like this that we are not just kind of instinctually being aware of. Again, I feel like these backdoor cuts are here a lot of the time because we do space the floor well, being such a three-point shooting team, and especially when we got it going, these cuts are going to be here. You see what I mean by how, you know, they give the ball to Jokic here. Gordon is setting another pick for Murray, and getting Jokic because he's such a big man. He can. It's just like Dirk really with Jokic, minus like the ball handling and the dribbling. But in the half court set, right? In the half court set, Jokic is very much like Dirk in terms of how the Nuggets are using him. You get him out here, he can hit that shot, so you got to get on him, and it leaves the lane wide open, and the rest of the other four players are doing something, are working on something to try and get a layup here. And Gordon feasted. Murray had a couple plays like this. Highland had some easy drives because the lane is clear. And so this is what I mean where like an offense, when you have a player like Jokic and Luka, the offense should be able to create around them. And I don't think the Mavericks do a very good job of that. Maybe they're still working out the kinks with that, but you know, you've had now, you know, a year and a half, Jason Kidd, you know, so it's kind of time we should start seeing something. Wide open three. Double pick and roll again. Here's the middle of the floor. Again, Wood rolls. Now, this is a decent set, right? If you're going to do a double pick and roll with a shooter like Hardaway and a guy like Wood who you have to respect rolling to the hole, that's even going to be more wide open here. Now, Hardaway being who he is, he's gonna pop for the three, which is okay. I don't really mind that. But me as a coach, right, I want layups. I want 15-footers. I want 10-foot runners. I want things in the lane. I want layups. I want dunks. I want alley-oops. Me personally, right? I want easier, close range, high percentage shots. And don't be wrong, Hardaway's got it going, so this is fine. That's not bad. And you see, I guess with me, right, you see this coming at you. You know, Maxey is wide open, I suppose. But again, I would like to see maybe Hardaway get to the middle here. I still am okay with Hardaway shooting a 15, 18-footer, right? And again, the analytics say to shoot the three. So, but again, Hardaway had it going. A little pick and pop action for the three. He gets the pump fake off. It's still a semi-difficult shot. I mean, he's got two guys around him. You know, two guys coming at him. But Hardaway had it going, so, you know, he gets the green light. We should watch this. See what they're doing here. Watch Gordon. Do you see just the better ball movement off of the ball? You see how they have things ready. They know what they're doing. And you see Jokic. Jokic does a nice job here. He looks off Dinwiddie here. So Dinwiddie goes to the three and he dumps it to Gordon. That's just, you know what I mean? Like everyone knows their role here. Everyone knows what we're looking for, right? Worst case scenario, Jokic tries to make something work from 15 feet out. Double pick. I'm gonna say, I keep saying Dinwiddie's tough to guard on going to the hole. He's quick and he's strong. We also got some nice, easy transition layups and some nice transition buckets this game. The leak out and the transition game's picking up a little bit. Again, we're still not very good at it. It's not really our style. But Luka had an amazing pass. I think it was either, can't remember if it was like early third or in the first half. Essentially just lobbed it right over to Powell over his shoulder. He threw it from like, you know, 1/4 court all the way down low to the other end of the goal, right over the defender, right over Powell's shoulder for an easy layup. We had a couple times we leaked out and got some layups. So, you know, again, Luka will produce for you. What we need right now is how many buckets can we get away from Luka? Easy buckets, good looks. That's really what we need to be focused on as an offense. So anytime we can get a transition bucket, that's just alleviating pressure from Luka. Again, Jokic is guarding Finney, so I like Finney coming to set the pick. Man, they called, I don't know if it's just this year, but I feel like they are calling so many fouls on pick and rolls, like either on the ball or off. Maybe that's just me. Another thing, talk about how they work off of Jokic. They got tons of open looks in the corner because of what they were running through Jokic. And again, you could tell it was a set play because they did it several times, right? And maybe that's another one of my issues. It feels like the Mavericks try to feel it out too much, right? There's not like a role or a specific kind of plan or overall structure. It's just, we're going to run the pick and roll or ISO with Luka, and then people just, you know, make it up as you go from there. I don't really like that. Hardaway drawing the big charge there. Hardaway had a great game, man. He really did. He got a key rebound or two. He got that charge. I mean, that's with 3 minutes to go, a little over 3 minutes to go. He made some big plays. So again, I know Finney Smith's a bit of a 3-and-D guy, right? I would like to see us get here, right? And the thing is, I would like to see Finney Smith and Dinwiddie kind of begin to almost like a fast break here. This 2-on-1 game right here, right? If Finney can get it a little closer in, again, he's open. It's okay. I'm fine with this. And Luka does his behind the back, which I don't necessarily like, but again, he's very good at it. So again, he gets the green light. Getting Finney here and then Dinwiddie going to the basket, you know, I think that is a much better opportunity for these two guys. Again, Finney's he's an okay 3-point shooter, spot up, open, not a great one, right? So again, I would like to see Dinwiddie take a step or two in, and I'd like to see Finney take a step or two in and get the ball, or just start attacking the hole here, and I would like to see Dinwiddie start going backdoor and cutting. That right there was a crazy shot. Great shot by Jokic. Again, Finney is bringing over Jokic. I like that. They're going to double. Again, right here, I'd rather see us get right here. And again, the reason why I want it right here instead of him dribbling is now the defense has essentially recovered. Again, right here, this is wide open, and Dinwiddie should be crashing to the goal too, and that should be a layup for one of them, in my opinion. And even over here, we have these two guys. One of them can start, because Gordon's going to have to come over and help as well. One of these guys can even come and crash with them as well. Essentially, you got, that's what I mean by getting to the middle of the floor. Finney Smith can now attack, dump left, dump right. And Finney, you know, Finney's not the best, like, go to the hole guy, you know. I understand that. Big rebound right there. Let's watch this one more time. I'd like to get it right here. Again, getting it far out, you're not making the defense pay, and you're giving them that little bit of extra space to recover, which Jokic does quite well for a big guy, right? And Dinwiddie now is not as open as he once was. Again, this is where we flounder and we get flustered. No one really knows what we're doing right now. It's just kind of everyone driving and kicking, and Hardaway almost loses it here. Looks like, I mean, just in real time, it looks like he was out of bounds, but I'm guessing he got rid of it. Just good hands. That was good defense. You know, nothing really to complain about there. So again, Dinwiddie's bringing another guard. I don't necessarily like that. I didn't understand this one. I know Luka had been struggling and Hardaway had been on fire. So I think Luka's trying to kind of force it here to Hardaway. But that was a lazy pass. It looked like he was just kind of lobbing it up. And why maybe Luka just struggling. He just, you know, wasn't feeling it. But why he doesn't pull up right here, especially when he got right there, right? He starts moving sideways, and so does Jokic. Jokic doesn't really like come out to meet him per se. You know, come here and pop or pump fake and get a foul on Jokic or something. You know, I'm not sure what happened here. I think Luka's, you know, being as aware as he is, I think he's trying to get it to Hardaway, who is open. But the pass, I'm not sure what happened here. I can't explain this one.
And these are the two pickups in the offseason.
I'm not sure. Maybe Luka was saying Hardaway should have come up a little bit. I'm not sure what happened there. You know, I'm not sure why Luka's upset.
To me, are going to pay huge dividends come playoff time.
I can't put my finger on that one. So again, pick and roll. This is what I mean. I don't like us setting pick and rolls so far off to one side. You see, they're gonna hedge and shade Luka. I don't like this shot. He shoots this with 9 to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Again, Maxi's kind of here. I'm not sure. I think sometimes Luka does get frustrated and he just comes down and shoots a shot. He just wants to get a shot in, you know, to just kind of get the team back on track, which works sometimes. That's all I can really guess here is he just wanted to come down. He just wanted to get a shot up, and got to be a little smarter than that. I feel like this is settling a little bit, especially in such a crucial time. 140 to go, and we're up by 2. 111 to 109. I feel like this is settling.
Go back to your bread and butter. Murray and Jokic. Now you got the switch. The two main characters.
Murray for the lead. Rebound inside, collected by Hardaway.
Hardaway, another big rebound. Oops. Here comes Maxey. Again, I don't know. I'm still trying to put my finger on why Kid is running pick and rolls so far out on the wing. I guess he's just thinking it's going to open stuff up, but you got to realize, like, people are hedging and shading Luka so much that coming out here to the side, the defense is just going to play to you. It's just going to shade to you even more. I don't think it's opening things up like Kid thinks it is, perhaps. I don't know. I can't get inside Kid's head on this. Looks like he wanted Maxey to come back. Just not good offensive here. It looks like he wanted Maxey to come back or stay here or something. You got to realize, like, Luka gets so much attention. Like, even though they're running a man here, it almost is like a box and one. It really is. Like, I know not quite like what we saw in the Toronto game, but it is almost like almost like everyone's playing a semi-man zone on their man and also watching Luka in terms of the zone aspect. And, of course, we're always going to have a guy on Luka, right? So, I mean, it really is it's really interesting to watch. It really is interesting to watch how much attention Luka gets. And again, middle of the floor is wide open. No one's cutting. Just don't like that. It's just bad offense. There's that play again. They get a lot of open looks. Because everyone knows where everyone is and what we're doing here on the Nuggets off of Jokic. And I feel like the Mavs improvise is a key word. That's what I should say. The Mavs seem to be improvising so much more, and so sometimes it gels and sometimes it doesn't. It seems like more times than not, once we get off of that first wrinkle with Luka, whether it be a pick and roll or ISO or whatever, it seems more times than not, guys are not really understanding what the other is thinking or going to do. Somehow they missed a series here. I can't remember if Finney or if Hardaway hit a 3 here, but it's 111, 112 after he hits that 3 with 30 seconds to go. 37 seconds to go. And so they missed a series here. Now Mavs are up 114, 112 with 16.8 to go. So we hit a 3, but they don't have it on the replay here. And so it's just free throws from here on out. So, the offense was very like herky jerky last night. We'd have some nice stretches, and then you saw a few plays there where Luka's kind of just out on an island, or the ball's getting worked around but no one's open, and we're kind of struggling to get a shot up. So, I honestly didn't really like the offense overall last night. It was okay. Again, we hit shots, which has been the big difference. Hardaway has been on an absolute tear the last 4 or 5 games, and that's really been the difference. Even though we lost to Detroit there, I mean, we beat Golden State, and then we beat Phoenix, and then we beat the brakes off of New York, and now we've beaten Denver. I believe those are our last 5 games, so 4-1 our last 5 games against some pretty good competition, even though we lost when we played down to Detroit. But I'm just again, there seems to be no game plan on offense, which is just my big criticism so far this year, and will continue to be until I see otherwise. But there just seems to be no playing off or through Luka and people having a role or a responsibility. And this was such a great game if you watch it, to see how Denver plays through Jokic and how many easy buckets Gordon got because of what they're doing with Jokic and moving guys around and getting mismatches, back cutting, posting up, etc. And we don't do that. You know, like everyone kind of stands around. No one's really running any motion off the ball. No one's really trying to get to a spot or have a responsibility or anything like that. It's just all feel and improvisation off of Luka. And, you know, this is what I mean by Kid being a styles coach. He's a styles coach. He's not really an X's and O's coach, which, again, in the flow of the game, right, that's okay, right? You have an idea of what you're trying to do. But in spots, in close games, especially in the playoffs, and when they throw certain things at you, I just don't think Kid is adjusting very well. He's not using Luka and the rest of the guys in a way that exposes when they overplay to Luka. It's not exposing them. It's not making them pay. And I think that's where we struggle. Again, we got the win. I can't complain. The defense was really good tonight, I thought. Denver, you know, hit some threes there, which kind of maybe makes their score look a little inflated. But the defense was really good this game. Luka's defense, I don't know why it's not really getting a lot of talk, but his defense has been worlds better than last year during the playoffs. His footwork looks much better. He's getting hands on balls. He's getting steals. He had like 2 or 3 steals this game. Like, played some good defense, and so I hope that continues. I think that will pay dividends later. So yeah, we just broke down the fourth quarter. I guess there wasn't a whole lot there, but again, off of those double teams, that will continue to be the story for the rest of the year and for the rest of Luka's career at Dallas until someone is able to do something different. And I don't know why Kid, you know, this is what I mean by adjustments. By now, right, Kid should have a few sets ready for Luka and the other guys on the floor when the double team comes. And the thing is, if you know the double team is coming, that's what I mean. Like, you should be able to dictate where you want the double team to come, where you want it to be sprung, and where you want them to trap Luka. You should be able to dictate where that happens, right? You have the advantage with Luka. You should be able to dictate to them, like, okay, you want a double team? I want you to double team here, and we're going to have our guys set up here. And we all know what to do from there. And it doesn't seem like Kid has anything like that ready. And I don't know what's up with that. But we keep dribbling out to the corners, getting Luka stuck. No one's giving him an easy pass to the middle, which is always wide open just about. And I guess it just baffles me that we're now a third. We're about a little over a quarter of the way in. And, you know, during Detroit game in overtime when we did it, it looked good. You know, it looked like he had finally broken the middle of that of the floor off of the double team, and we were getting, in my opinion, guys were either wide open or they were getting good looks, or people were cutting to the basket, getting dunks or getting layups, etc. And I don't know why he went away from that, but I haven't seen it since. And it just seems to me like by now, you should be able to say, okay, the double team, they're doing the double team or they're hedging. Here's what we're doing. We're doing what we did in practice. Like, this is what we're doing now. Everyone knows where they need to be, what we're looking for, what the options are. And it doesn't seem like we have that. We're just hoping Luka makes a pass and guys improvise, right? That's not sustainable in my opinion. So, again, big win for the Mavs. Of course, we'll take it. So, it was an exciting game too, a good game. So, I'll probably be streaming. I think there's a game tomorrow and Saturday. I'll probably stream both of those games. So, I'll see you guys then.